Ben, what was the factors of returning to the Clash at the Coliseum in 2023?
Yeah, I mean, I think a number of factors. The first one is just the success of this year. You know, a ton of fans that came out for the event, a lot of first-time fans, a lot of young fans, a lot of, you guys saw the student section with USC. I mean, it was packed. So a great race overall, a great event, I should say. And I think the racing product certainly didn't disappoint. Between the heat races, last chance race, the main event, really just a fun day overall. And, really an easy decision for us to go back in 2023.
So I asked Steve Phillips on Thursday this past week about this. He said the announcement will come soon. So I guess soon is today.
Soon is today, yeah. So Patrick and the entire team have been working on this since we had the Coliseum event earlier this year. And they've done a great job in making sure we're ready today and able to announce it today. And if anyone goes to NASCARclash.com, they can either submit some information for when we go on sale, or if people bought tickets to the event in 2022, they can actually renew today. So really excited about that.
What did you see in 2022 that you want to improve on in this event in 2023?
That's a good question, Bob. I think if you look at the event overall, a lot of successes that we had, whether it was Pitbull or Ice Cube or the format, I think as we think about 2023, we want to continue to level the bar up, whether that's from an event experience standpoint, whether that's from, talk about kind of Christmas tree lane, and as people are walking into the different fan zone areas, I think there's definitely some opportunities for enhancements. Frankly speaking, we didn't expect the amount of merchandise or concession sales that were there. So I think there's some opportunities for us to just kind of streamline that a little bit for 23. But I'd say overall, a lot of things worked better than we had expected going into this year's race.
What about the future? And not only just for the Clash, but for other races. You mentioned this on the broadcast a while ago about international. How would that look? What would we do for something like that, and how would we go forward?
Yeah, it's a good question. Excited about 2023, but whether it's an event like this or another event, and whether it's our Cup Series or another one of our series, I think it's an opportunity for us to open the door to new markets and really bring our racing to fans where we don't have tracks today. And whether that be in the U.S., whether that be abroad, I think there's a lot of opportunities out there, frankly speaking. It's difficult to find a footprint that's big enough to build a quarter-mile racetrack. So we have to be very kind of selective and measured about where we go, but it does open the door to a lot of opportunities.
What's your short list favorite?
I don't know if I have a short list favorite. There's a bunch of cool and just historic stadiums as you think internationally, where they've hosted Olympics or major soccer games. I mean, there's a ton of iconic stadiums that are out there, and I think there could be some pretty cool events you could have.
Ben, we saw the trucks run here yesterday. Is that something that's on the table again next year, or possibly Xfinity coming here next year?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Something we've certainly looked at for sure. And I think one of our questions that we have too going into 2023 is, what does Sunday look like, but what does the weekend look like too? There are opportunities for us to introduce more content, whether that's races or ride-arounds or whatever it might be. So, I think we have some thought starters to it, but we'll put a little more framework around it before we come out.
And also, is it possible that you guys may do more IndyCar and NASCAR crossover weekends, like we do at Indianapolis currently?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question. Indianapolis is a good example of it. When we have IndyCar there with Cup and Xfinity. I don't know what that looks like in the future. A lot of it depends on our schedule and their schedule, and thankfully there's great collaboration between the two as we build that out. But something we'll continue to think about.
You have one on the new car. What are your thoughts on how it's been performing this year? And also, you're a racer, so did you ever get behind the wheel of this car and actually kind of test it out to see the nuances?
So I'll answer your second question first. I haven't, no. I think I had an opportunity at Bowman Gray when we were actually testing for the Clash, but I didn't have my stuff, so I didn't get to do it then. But I would say the racing this year, and this is putting my fan hat on for a moment, I think it's some of the best racing, frankly, I've ever seen. And if you look at every metric, the fan metrics for sure are off the charts, but you look at the competition metrics, whether it's, green flag passes throughout the field, The time differential between first and second. Every metric that we have is certainly up over the past few years, and some of the metrics are the highest that we've seen since we've started electronic scoring in '93. So certainly proud of what the next gen cars brought. I think if you look at the cars on the grid today, they look amazing. The 18-inch wheels, the body styling the OEMs did, and I think it's really accomplishing what we had hoped it would.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.